Oh, hello, Annie. I
Oh,
can.
you can see me. Hello, Andrew.
Hi.
How
Thanks
are
for the
you?
great presentation.
Of course, I feel it was a bit too quick, but I hope it was helpful.
No, it was. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think, are you the only one in this room right now? It's hard to tell.
Looks like it.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Do you have any
Yeah. Look,
questions for me?
yes. Look, I just think I've heard over the years, and I've seen as well, that storytelling is very important, particularly in the U.S. market, but I suppose any market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's really just trying to tell that story. And for me, I think it's a case of differentiating our products.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, and it looks like from what I've seen of the various people here, is that it is very much a craft-focused group. Whereas, although we have what I would call craft people within our company, it's more about a volume sort of based business. We supply sort of larger retailers in South Africa, but
Mm-hmm.
we also supply smaller stores.
Okay.
So that was the other thing, is the brand and the producer. So we are a producer for some brands and some retailers,
Okay.
and then we have our own brand that we are also trying to grow.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been to a number of trade fairs in the US,
Mm-hmm.
basically all on the West Coast, and it was all a Magic trade fair. I'm
Mm.
sure you
And what is
know
the name
about
of your, I'm curious, what's the name of your company?
Saddler belts.
Settled
I
Belts,
was,
so leather
I
belt.
was that, yeah, I was that moderator apparently.
Okay. So you make leather belts.
Yes, leather, and we actually make synthetic. So some of our
Okay.
market requires synthetic and that lower end type market.
Mm-hmm.
So we do quite big volumes on that. And
Okay.
then we do leather, but we also do exotic skins. So ostrich, farm reared ostrich,
Mm-hmm.
and farm reared crocodile.
Okay. Well,
But
I
yeah,
would think so it's farm raised. So in that sense, would you say it's ethically made product?
yeah. Well, I
Okay.
mean, I suppose it depends. If you are vegan, probably you wouldn't
No.
wear even
Yeah.
leather. So just there's a whole spectrum, isn't there?
But I think there's so much opportunity there for strong storytelling, especially now because they really want to know where this stuff is coming from. And I really think it's that time for suppliers to invest in photographers to really tell these stories. So I would be fascinated to go take photos of these farms and really document like more as a journalist, so you can then present a packet of images to
See
your
my
clients.
sorry, that was my some of the staff leaving. It's
Oh,
just the
that's
end of
okay.
the day. Yeah.
No, I just think it's such a good time to, to invest in photography and invest like in a more kind of journalistic style photography where you're really going to the farm, you're taking photos of the process. So then you can hand off a nice collection of images for your clients that want to tell this story of how this is ethically made, not only for your own brand and your own company, but for your clients because they
Sorry,
will.
I'm just making notes. If I'm looking down at, I'm just making notes.
Yeah.
Thanks as you chat.
Yeah, so I think that's super valuable to have a series of at least 20 images that you can give your clients on how it's ethical with some text too. So, for example, when I'm repping different vendors and I'm showcasing their work through newsletters, I really dig deep for storytelling images. And I can't say how far that goes. Like, I can't rep groups that don't have strong visuals, strong photography, and so I think it's really a well worth investment, to really get that package of images to your clients because there's
Yeah,
such a negative stereotype right around these rare skins and if you tell a different story, I think that's what people want to hear.
I actually we've been working on what we call a trade presenter with a marketing company. Can you believe it? Spending more on marketing during COVID and getting hit by this thing. But anyway, we did it, and we have a trade presenter, and I'd love to be able to email that to you just to get your impression, or send it somehow. It's a 3 meg thing, so it's emailable. They've put it into a smaller format. We're going to be making sort of pamphlets, out of them. And the back part of the pamphlet will have a sleeve so that we can put costing sheets and things that are applicable to each particular customer. So this is something that's general for our business, and it's sort of our story, but it's not, it doesn't focus on that one particular product, which is the exotic side. So it would be really great to get some feedback if possible.
Yeah, you're welcome to email me. My email is just Annie@aowhandmade.com, and I can send you some feedback. But I really think if you looked at your top clients in the US or Europe or wherever they are in South Africa, and gave them a little Dropbox folder of these images and some storytelling text about your main products, they will love you, because they can then market you so much better. So, and another thing to really focus on is that material, that technique, go deeper, go deeper than you might normally go, because that's the interesting part. For me, if I were representing your brand, I would really want to see images of the farm, the material, the sense of landscape, not just the kind of nitty-gritty side, but also that beauty of the sense of place through color, through texture. Make it beautiful, right? Beautiful but interesting. And I think that's, you can do a lot of that yourself if you don't have the funding for a photographer, more like using your phone and, going kind of behind the scenes, taking your current clients behind the scenes on your trip to the farm to collect the hides, like make it more transparent and make it more of a journey that you're taking your clients on. I think that's very interesting.
Interesting discussions going on here. And sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm just seeing also some questions in the chat box, Annie.
Oh, I don't see that.
That's all right. I can harvest those for you. Nomonde is asking which group of clients would be interested in storytelling. Which group of clients would be interested in storytelling?
That's a good question. So I think right now, either if you have small retail shops, they're interested in telling your story, as well as wholesalers. So for example, or our larger chain retailers. So for example, I'm working with a retail chain called Our House now, and they're very interested in the artisan story. And this is a chain that has, 80 stores. And this is very popular in the US right now, that larger retail chains want to tell your story. They want to be transparent. So I think, to be honest, I think both wholesalers and retailers are interested in your story. So I don't think it's one or another. Yeah. And Marina, are you still there? Because I can't see people's questions.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm still here. Nomonde says thank you. Nomonde says thank you. It looks like you have sufficiently responded to her question. If there are more questions, please. I see Lucy has just joined us. She probably has a question as well. Lucy, welcome. Would you like to ask any question, Lucy?
Yes, I would. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Hi. In your presentation, you mentioned how maybe we should focus on one product, so that maybe we should stand out more. However, I think in our craft, I deal with a number of artisans and therefore present a variety of handcrafted products. I still wanted to find out how we can still stand out in a crowd and still tell a story, regardless that we are dealing with a number of handcrafted products.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good question. So, for example, do you see yourself as a producer or a brand to start?
I think listening from the conversations, I would think maybe we would fall into the brand.
A brand, okay.
Yes, possibly. But maybe I need more clarification on what a producer is and a brand is, maybe to have a...
Well, I think a producer is really producing more in volume for a wholesaler, you know, less direct to small shops, right? You're producing volume order, yeah, for a wholesaler or even a large retail chain. And, you know, they might be like, oh, I want more, you would customize the design. So you're really working directly with the true artist and supplier versus a brand. Sometimes it might be you might have a retail site yourself and sell to the end consumer, you know, and you're more in charge of the design, your own design. Where when you're a producer, you're okay developing for a wholesale account or a retailer. That's the main difference, of course.
Okay.
But I think in terms of, for example, you have baskets, right? I see behind you,
Yes.
you have baskets.
Yes.
I would really focus. I'm not saying you can't sell, you know, multiple products, but I think that maybe you have a few different techniques and materials that you specialize in, right? Or is that not correct?
No, it's correct.
So that's what I mean, specialize. Specialize in the story around material and the fiber that you're really good at. And then that makes you that makes you an expert in your craft. And then, of course, you can offer many different products, but it's specialty of the material and the technique, I would say.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So go deeper there. Go hire a photographer or photograph yourself the journey of where this fiber is being sourced, who is making it, what is the technique. Like people are very curious these days. Buyers want to know that you're truly an ethical brand if you say you are. So they want to know that you're potentially being conscious of the way you're disposing of the dyes, you know, the wastewater, the materials, how you're producing the materials, how you're harvesting. It's not just the surface product, is much deeper. And with people inquiring on sustainability these days, they want to go and visit you and know that you're truly transparent in what you're saying, you know? So I think it's really important for you to take your camera, to go with a photographer, go to the fields where this fiber is being grown and show them all of the steps. And then they'll really build trust in your brand. And same for you, Andrew, too. You know, it's the same thing, like really showing them that transparency. Yeah, you don't have to say the name of who you're working with to get, you know, but it's showing through visuals that you have strong connections to the full supply chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Annie. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Do we have any other questions? We have such a small group.
Can we see any other questions? I think we have 14 people on this session, so please go ahead. I see Nampula. Welcome.
Hi. My name is Nampa. I don't know what was already covered. I just joined. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Namupa.
Okay, good. I'm joining you from Namibia. We are a small family business that produces marula oil. I don't know if I'll be able to show. So we produce natural marula oil for skin, hair, and it's a massage oil. And I think I heard, Annie spoke earlier about the importance of developing a story. And I think we are struggling to develop a story that is relevant, but is also selling to the international market, because our goal is to export marula oil. And you know, marula oil, I don't know how much you know about it. It has been
Yeah, I went to Namibia.
used by generations. And it's a story that is a generational story that our ancestors have been, sharing. So I just want to get to ask you how you can help us start now telling that story, like that ancient Marula story. And maybe where do we start? That is my question. And also, the next question is, how do we get in touch with buyers and develop a strong relationship with the buyer, trusting relationship with the buyer, because we are new and sometimes it's so overwhelming because you really don't know, like, where do we start? Telling a story and also developing a long-lasting, beneficial relationship with the buyers.
Okay. Well, I always say when you're first starting off, you should look local. You should look at your local clients, whether they're hotels. Can you imagine all of the hotels even in Africa that would be interested in carrying local African products? So I think looking at hotels would be quite interesting, massage centers in hotels locally. That's one idea. So first go local if you can, because exporting is not fun. And you make less in the end, right? There's so many other steps. So I would really think about the local market as much as you can. Think about all of these hotels, even in Cape Town, and even beautiful shops. So that's something to consider. Then the next step, I think, would be to attend a trade show, either in Africa or when you feel ready, going to a trade show that focuses on eco-conscious body care products. But before that, that's why I suggest local, is because you really get a lot of buyer feedback on your product, and then you'll feel that much more comfortable when you actually attend a trade show. So think of this local market as a good way to test products, see what's buying, this sort of thing. Build your Instagram too. So in regards to storytelling and marketing, like, I get really excited to me myself as a buyer who would represent, say, a company like you. I would want to take consumers on this journey to Namibia visually. I want to go and see where this, you need to take a photographer, or you need to photograph yourself. Beautiful photograph, strong photograph, not blurry, not low resolution. I mean, very nice photographs of where that nut is cultivated, is harvested. So I want to see the fields. I want to see the people making it. I want to see where they're working. I want to see the landscape of Namibia. I want to see texture, people's faces, this journey of where that material is being sourced and being made, and the people behind it. So I think it's a really nice place to start. For example, with your Instagram account, you create an Instagram and you start seeing it as this way to take people behind the scenes of your brand, to take them on a journey. Maybe it's boring for you, but for me, I would love to see on your stories of your Instagram where you go to meet these people, where they're working. Like, people will respond to this connection if you truly connect them to the people that you're working with. So think of it in terms of a journey that you're taking your clients on, and a journey to Namibia and what inspires you. And your Instagram should have a nice combination of portraits of the people, of the hands at work, of the where it's harvested, all of this. So really be transparent with the supply chain is my suggestion.
Thank you so much.
You imagine it's all at your fingertips, right? It's just a matter of starting to take photographs, and people, I think, will be fascinated. And take photographs of the landscape, the color, what inspires you about Namibia in terms of texture. You know, this is very, very inspiring as a brand.
Thank you so much, Annie.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions? Don't be shy. So, do you have any more questions for me, Namupa? Excuse me.
No, just curious how, I don't know if you are the one who mentioned that you work with groups in Africa. How did you start working with that, and what is the possibility of having more businesses to work with like us? Like, how does the process look like?
Well, I think that Kim, for example, works closely with a group like a producer group like you, and then she would import it. I don't rep any groups in South Africa at the moment. I am open to, but basically how it works is, you know, myself, Stacy, or any of the buyers would travel to Africa potentially. We might see you at a trade show, either in Africa or at Maison Objet or in New York. We might fall in love with your product, and we would build a relationship with you, and we would start testing the product with small orders, and then we see how it goes. But that's typically how you start a relationship, is at a trade show. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
And Elson, I see you here. Do you have any questions?
Hi. Yes,
Hello.
yes, I have. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
All right. It's interesting. I was so much interested in what you talked about presentation, and how there's a bit of electricity breakdown here, so I'm lagging behind. How can we pursue it further with you? You have a website?
What is your website?
You have a website?
I have a website, yes. It's aowhandmade.com.
A-L?
No.
W?
A-O-W. Handmade. .com.
All right. It was quite interesting. I would like to just browse to see what you're up to, and then possibly maybe I can pursue it from there. Because of time, I think it would be very difficult for me to. But what's one of the challenges that you've had? One tip that you felt it persistently comes to you as a challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I can say that very quickly. Okay, well, as everyone said, if you don't respond to my emails within 24 hours, I often can't work with you. Very strict.
And are you able to fulfill that?
Yes, I work with great vendors that say, okay, Annie, I will get back to you on this date. You don't have to get back to me with the requirement, but you have to tell me when you're going to get back to me. So this is very important. It's communication. If I'm going to promote your product, you have to have good storytelling photography, you know, because basically how I promote product to my clients is through newsletters. So I ask my partners to send me a nice selection of images that I can then promote to my clients. So if you don't have images, how can I sell a product, you know? So you have to really do your homework on your end and take the photograph and get good storytelling text and really create a transparency, you know, about the supply chain to your clients.
All right. Annie, you see me coming after you after this. Thank you so much for the tip. I just have to dash and try another session as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Do we have any other questions? Okay, I don't think we do. I think the time is up maybe, and we're going to the other session.